Long ago, when the land of Vietnam was still young, the people constantly faced the threat of foreign invasion. From the north came the Yin invaders, their army countless like swarming ants, their weapons shining like a forest of steel. Their ambition was to conquer, to turn the small country into their colony. Fear spread everywhere. The king, distressed, sent envoys throughout the land, beating drums to search for heroes who could save the nation. In Phu Dong village, there lived a poor but kind couple. One day, while working in the fields, the wife came across a giant footprint pressed into the earth. Curious, she placed her own foot inside it, then returned home. Soon after, she became pregnant, and 12 months later, she gave birth to a boy. But the child was strange. For 3 long years, he neither spoke nor smiled, nor learned to walk like other children. The villagers shook their heads, saying he would never be useful. His parents, though saddened, continued to care for him with all their love. That year, when the enemy invaded, the king's envoy came beating the drums, calling for heroes. And at that moment, the silent boy suddenly spoke his very first words, his voice thundering like the heavens. "Give me an iron horse, an iron sword, an iron armor. I will rise and drive out the enemy." The entire village froze in shock. His parents trembled, unable to believe their ears. The envoy rushed back to the capital to report. The king, both astonished and overjoyed, immediately ordered the forging of an iron horse, an iron sword, and iron armor, and sent them to Phu Dong. From that day, the boy ate endlessly, but was never full. He devoured pots of rice and jars of water, yet his hunger remained. The villagers gathered all they could to feed him. Day after day, he grew taller, stronger, his body firm as steel. From a small child, he transformed into a giant warrior. When the iron horse, sword, and armor arrived, he donned the armor, mounted the horse, and the horse neighed, spitting out blazing fire. A great battle was about to begin. The enemy army marched forward, their banners covering the sky. But from Phu Dong, Saint Giong rode out on his iron horse, fire streaming from its mouth, sword flashing across the sky. The pounding hooves shook the earth. Flames consumed thousands. The sword cut down tens of thousands. The invaders trembled in terror, their spirits broken, fleeing in chaos before such divine power. In the midst of battle, Giong's iron sword suddenly shattered. The enemy roared in hope, but Saint Giong seized a cluster of bamboo from the roadside, wielding it as a weapon. Each strike broke bones and spilled blood. The sound of cracking bamboo mingled with the cries of battle, a deathly symphony for the enemy. From then on, humble bamboo became a symbol of resilience and the unyielding spirit of the Vietnamese people. The battle raged from dawn until dusk. By sunset, the enemy lay dead in heaps, survivors fleeing in panic. The land was free once more. The people rejoiced. The king praised Saint Giong as the savior of the nation. But when the war was over, Giong accepted no gold, no treasures. He quietly rode to Sausay Mountain, removed his armor, and gazed toward the sky. Urging his horse to breathe one last stream of fire, he soared into the heavens in a blaze of light, never to return. The villagers searched, but all that remained were charred bamboo groves and hoofprints in the soil. From then on, they built temples and worshipped him as Phu Dong Thien Vu Ong, the immortal saint, a symbol of patriotism and the unbreakable will of the people. Saint Giong is more than a legend. He is proof that whenever the nation is in danger, the strength of its people will rise, and no enemy can prevail. The flames of the iron horse, the thunder of galloping hooves, still echo in the hearts of the Vietnamese. Even today, during the Giong festival, his story is retold, reminding us that this land was born from blood, from fire, and from those who dared to rise and defend it. Once upon a time, deep within the tranquil embrace of a bamboo forest, nestled a village named Dong Shan. Life there flowed as smoothly as the nearby river, until one day when a dark cloud hovered over the peaceful landscape. A monstrous dragon, enraged by the noise of a construction project near its lair, lashed out, causing immense destruction. Fear gripped the villagers as they watched their homes crumble under the dragon's wrath. Desperate for help, they turned to the heavens, pleading for a hero to save them from the beast's fury. Days turned into nights, and the dragon's wrath showed no signs of abating. Just when all hope seemed lost, a radiant light pierced through the gloom. Emerging from the light was a young woman named Tien, her eyes shining with determination. With gentle grace, she approached the raging dragon, her mere presence calming its wild demeanor. Though initially taken aback by the dragon's ferocity, Tien remained steadfast, her gaze unwavering. As she continued to approach, the dragon's anger gradually subsided, replaced by curiosity and a hint of admiration for this fearless maiden. Tien, understanding the dragon's confusion, spoke in a soothing voice, inquiring about the reason behind its destructive behavior. The dragon, moved by her kindness, poured out its tale of sorrow and anger. It explained how the construction project had disturbed its slumber and threatened its existence. Moved by the dragon's plight, Tien didn't hesitate. She turned to the villagers and suggested building a new settlement further away from the dragon's lair. Recognizing the wisdom in her words, the villagers agreed, and so, under Tien's guidance, they embarked on a journey to find a new home. As they prepared to leave, Tien turned back to face the dragon. With a mixture of respect and gratitude, she offered the dragon a lotus seed, a symbol of peace and harmony. The dragon, touched by her gesture, accepted the offering and disappeared into the depths of the forest. Relieved and grateful, the villagers followed Tien to their new home. They built their houses and lives anew, always remembering the courage and compassion shown by Tien. With time, stories of her bravery echoed through the land, making her a legendary figure in their history. And thus, the tale of Tien, the dragon slayer, became a cherished part of their folklore, passed down through generations, embodying the values of empathy, courage, and the harmonious coexistence of humans and nature. In the heart of Vietnam, where the mighty Red River winds its way through the land, there existed a small village known as Quang Chi. For many years, the villagers led a life of simplicity and joy, untouched by any troubles. However, this tranquility did not last forever. One fateful day, the river that had been their source of livelihood turned against them. Floods of unprecedented scale descended upon the village, threatening to wipe it off the map. Homes were inundated, crops were destroyed, and the people found themselves at the mercy of the relentless waters. Amidst the rising floodwaters, fear and despair began to grip the villagers. They gathered together, their faces etched with worry, searching for a glimmer of hope in the darkening sky. It was during this moment of desperation that an old man stepped forward. His name was Bach, and he was known for his wisdom and bravery. Looking out at the raging river, he declared that he would seek help from the legendary Jade Emperor, the supreme ruler of the heavens. Despite the villagers' skepticism, Bach remained resolute, knowing that hope was all they had left. After a long and arduous journey, Bach finally reached the celestial abode of the Jade Emperor. He recounted the tale of the villagers and their struggle against the merciless floods. Moved by their plight, the Jade Emperor took pity on the people of Quang Chi. He unleashed his celestial powers, commanding the clouds and winds to calm the raging waters. As if by magic, the floods began to recede, revealing a path for Bach to return to his village. When Bach arrived back in Quang Chi, he was greeted by a scene of devastation, yet also by the cheers of his people. The floods had left behind a trail of destruction, but their spirits were lifted by the knowledge that help was on the way. With the receding of the floodwaters, the true extent of the damage became clear. Homes were in ruins, fields were waterlogged, and the villagers' hopes seemed to have drowned along with their possessions. But instead of succumbing to despair, the villagers of Quang Chi rallied together. They joined hands to rebuild their homes, their shared determination acting as a lifeline in the face of adversity. And so, under the shared leadership of Bach, the village slowly began to heal. Days turned into weeks, and the once devastated village of Quang Chi was restored to its former glory. The people, though forever marked by the tragedy, were more resilient and united than ever before. The memory of the Great Flood became a part of their collective consciousness, a reminder of their strength and the importance of community in the face of any challenge. This is the end of our video today. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. We really appreciate your support, and we look forward to bringing you more amazing stories from Vietnam.